Yo, what's going on people, and welcome back to yet another video. This week we're going to be trying like a Kingsway sample from scratch that I've been asked to do. If you never heard of the Kingsway musical library, it's a giant sample library full of like compositions and musical pieces. It was created by Frank Dukes, he's the Grammy Award winner. It's pretty much at a hand in loads of the top artists. So yeah, let's see what we can do with this. Before we get into this video, please subscribe, follow my Instagram, that'll be on the screen. So yeah, let's get straight into this. So I think the reason why these samples are so unique and high quality is because they tend to set the mood perfect of what they're going for. So these chords I'm going for, like a sad sort of vibe, so it's going to be like a ninth scales, suspended, diminished and type of sort of thing. So yeah, I use this whirly keys. It sounds like this. But like using the strumming effect gave it a little bit more of a feeling towards the chords. And what I've noticed with these type of samples is they don't do too much. They just have to pick the right sound, get the sound selection right, and then it all falls into place. You don't have to add all these special effects. You can just keep it simple and it will sound good. As long as you mix it well and level it, it will just sound good. So for this I added a reels, chorus 4, took out the hiss a little bit, and then took out some lows, and then I used this to take out some highs, like a lo-fi, because it was very harsh on the high frequencies, so I just wanted to bring them down. The second thing I added was a piano by Analog Lab. Nothing too crazy. I just pitched it up an octave in the keys, just because I felt like it was clashing with the first keys. So I just pitched that up and it fit in a lot better. So it sounds like this. And again, didn't go too crazy on the effects, just a cassette. It's gone to default for some reason, but I think it was on a warm keys, and I just brought down the static, and then just took out some lows again. Didn't take out too much of the lows because I didn't want to lose the main core of the sound. So yeah, we have the first keys and the piano that just glued together nicely just to set the core of these chords that I'm using. And I feel like I've just had to build around that. So next I used a fake Leslie on the B3 from Analog Lab and just literally copied in the same pattern. So it sounds like this. It's a very high organ, so it's very harsh on the sound, so I had to just bring it down a level, just sit in the background. And for that, I added the J37 just to warp it a little bit more. I wanted to make it a little bit more wider than it already was because it was a very harsh sound, so I just wanted to just make it wider so it's set in the background more. And then just took out a lot of lows and just that. So yeah, the frequencies just fit perfectly together and just glue together brilliantly. So next I added this bass guitar from the Ample Bass J, and with this I like to overlay the ends of the notes just because it gives a cool effect. The reason why I added this bass just to give the sample a little bit more of a ride. Yeah, so the effects I used on this was a cassette. For some reason it's gone back to original, but it was called a bassist. And then I took out a lot of lows, some harsh frequencies that's just too much. And then I took out this static sound that I just wasn't liking. So I noticed in a lot of the samples they have like a live orchestra sort of sound, so I added this violin. As you can tell, it gives a lot more emotion into the sample and just fits in perfectly. So the effects I used on that was a lossy, just 96 kilobits per second, just to bring down the quality, make it more vintage. And then I took out a fair bit of lows and a bit of highs just because it was a harsh sound, so I just wanted to take out a little bit of. So yeah, once again added like a live orchestra type of sound. So at the end, just as like an accent, just added this. Feel like that bounced with the guitar bass as well, so give it a cool effect. Then for that I added this reverb, just standard one that I use. Then the echo boy, tiny feedback, just minimal echo, didn't want to just distract the beat too much. And then took out a lot of lows and a lot of highs because I just wanted to make it sit in the background as much as possible. So for that sample I rendered it out, and then it was a bit off time, so I just changed this little knob there, just change it back on time. Then I pitch shift it down 3 semitones. Yep. So it sounds like this all together. And then for this sample I realised where I had the bass, it was just a bit too much bass in the sample, so I took a little bit out, then added a little bit more high mids, just to give it a little bit more presence. So yeah, I rendered out the sample, and then I thought I needed to give it an extra flavour, so I recorded some vocals that sound like this. So the effects I gave on this, auto-tune as usual, humanise it a little bit, retune speed up a lot, transposed it so it was up 1 octave, and then I recorded these vocals in the new scale, so I brought it down 3 semitones. Then little auto boy, wanted to bring it down a lot. Then reverb, a cool delay that I've been using, I don't know what it does, but it's like just gives it a cool effect. Then lows and highs taken out, and then just brought down the volume quite a lot, to be fair. So yeah, the next vocal I added was like at the end of the sample where the guitar was bouncing. I just wanted to let that flow off of that. I wanted it to be a little bit more high pitch, so I did it with my voice, and it sounded like this. So with this, I panned that one to the left, then I used this tube compressor to glue it, make it more tighter. Then same auto-tune, auto boy, but not as much this time. Same reverb, just changed a little bit of the speed, and then took out a little bit more, and then gave this like spread delay sort of thing that was cool. And then just brought down the volume of that a little bit. Then for the last vocal I added this like reversed vocal that I've made. It sounded like this. Didn't have it as often, and I just panned it to the right and put in the same effects as the one before. Then lastly I put this digital guitar in that sounded like this. Then I rendered that out dry and reversed it, brought the volume down a lot, and then I just threw it in the third channel with the J37, the reverb, and just took out the lows. Just brought that down a lot. So yeah, as a whole, let's listen to the whole sample and see what it sounds like. So yeah, that's pretty much all of it. I think I did a good job. It sounds pretty cool. Definitely going to use this. Might throw it in like a sample pack or something, make like a few more. But yeah, if this is helpful and helping you anyway, please give a like, comment any other ideas, subscribe to the channel. My Instagram's going to be on the page right now. Then yeah, thank you guys.